Hi all, my name is Comet and welcome to my cosmic corner of the internet where we discuss all things astrology. And today, North Node in the 12th house, South Node in the 6th house, wrapping up our North Node series with the final nodal placement. If this is not yours, feel free to check out my playlist to find your placement or listen on to find out if a colleague, a lover, a friend of yours has it to gain more insight to your or their strengths, challenges, natural abilities, and universe-directed plan for expansion in this lifetime. This placement in astrology really can tell you so much, and I've had so much fun doing this series. Please comment below what you want me to take on next, and if you've gotten any value out of this series or out of this video, if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, commenting, anything that resonates that you feel called to do. Those little nudges are truly what keeps me going doing these videos, so I am so appreciative. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So if you have North Node in the 12th house, this automatically means you have South Node in the 6th house. South Node and North Node are where you've been and where you're going respectively. So to understand where you're going, we need to understand where you've been. So let's explore South Node in the 6th. 6th house governs errands, chores, daily routines, health. So in that area is kind of your comfort zone. You are a hard worker. You might be kind of a little neurotic or always just kind of busy because you're always looking for things to do or ways to help. You might be someone who kind of pushes against concepts of spirituality, choosing to instead favor the here and now, the tangible tasks at hand, or like, who has time to pray and meditate? There's so much stuff to be done. You could actually feel more comfortable being immersed in tasks and responsibilities because it almost, for you, gives you an out from the growth you're meant to do in this lifetime. Like, oh, I can't, go to that event. I have to work. Or, oh, I have to do school. Like, this placement is commonly in individuals who it's like they schedule their very last minute in a day and pack it with stuff because it's almost like you're fearful of downtime or you're fearful of just being in your own space because of what could come up. And it almost scares you to be perceived as not helpful or lazy, so you would rather be busy and like, oh, you have work, I'll take on your work. Oh, like you want to delegate that to me? Sure, I can take it, even if you're so busy. And while that's an amazing thing, your work ethic, your ability to jump in and help other people, your maybe natural, predisposition to eat healthier or to want to exercise or to want to take care of your body. You could be someone who's naturally very helpful, very giving of your time to other individuals. While these are all things that are meant to be respected and honored, it's not your work in this lifetime. Where this could have been detrimental in past lifetimes is that you were so busy, running around, doing all the things, doing all the chores, doing all the errands, not just for yourself, but for others. From a soul level, you weren't really allowed the space and the time to expand. And in this lifetime, you are given the space and the time to expand, so long as you can get out of your own way. Notice when you are taking on too much and then almost playing a martyr role, like, no one helps me, I'm so overwhelmed, this is so much. Notice when that comes up. Notice when you would rather cram every minute of your day rather than leave any element of surprise or any element of something unexpected. Like, is your busyness a method of trying to control your reality, or do you really have that much to do? And what would happen if you just sat with yourself? These are questions to answer in this lifetime. So with South Node in the 6th house, you've always been helpful. That's amazing. And it's almost like taking those helpful abilities that you have and that ability to organize and to plan and taking it into a new realm, a realm of things that can't be controlled and that can't be scheduled and can't be organized necessarily. 12th house is a very murky house. It governs secrecy, what's private, spirituality, subconscious processing, our connection beyond to ancestors, to what's unseen, what kind of lies beneath, the mysteries of life. And this might all send shivers down your spine because you're like, I don't want to get into that. That sounds scary. That sounds fearful. It's your work in this lifetime. And how you can support it is notice when you are taking on too much. That's a huge thing for this placement. And where does that come from? And it might have been like early in life, you were the busy one, you were the helpful one, you were the oldest and had to take care of everyone, or you were the breadwinner and you had to show up and do all the things. And it's almost like you've done that before. You've been the one who always had to be the responsible one, always had to be the helpful one. And this lifetime, it's not about, neglecting all of your responsibilities, but it's about diving into something bigger. You were so busy with the minutia and the day-to-day that you didn't really get the opportunity in past lifetimes to construct it into something bigger. And this is going to differ for every individual who's watching this video. Some could find this 12th house exploration in spending time in prisons, in nursing homes, in places where people are suffering. Because like I said, this axis, the 6th and 12th axis, is very much the serve or suffer axis. Like there really is this call for service and for helpfulness. And with the 6th house South Node, you could have done it in certain ways. And by diving into North Node, it could be diving in to help people who other people would largely ignore or avoid, and using your gifts for a broader purpose. It's almost like you're not meant to just use your gifts to just accomplish like one task. Like for example, 6th house career would be something very monotonous where it was just what it was, data entry or something that kept you very busy, but didn't really connect you to something bigger. And it's about taking that desire for helpfulness, that organizational ability, and that smarts that you have, and putting it into a kind of bigger, a more compassionate way. So yeah, prisons and nursing homes would be one expression of this. Also spending time in meditation and spending time alone. Like I said, with a South Node 6th house, you are used to being busy. You are used to being surrounded by stimuli, surrounded by things to do list packed. And you might complain that you're so busy and you never get time to yourself. When you do get time to yourself, it almost gives you anxiety or like nervousness where you're like, what am I meant to do with myself? And with North Node in the 12th house, it's considered that you should explore opportunities to be on your own, to really dull the busy chitter chatter of your mind, to perhaps explore avenues of delegating your responsibilities. You have this perfectionist tendency to want to do everything because you know how you want it and you know how you want it done. And with this nodal placement, part of your work in this lifetime is learning how to surrender tasks to other individuals, to clear up more space for you, and to know that you are worth it. So even if it's like just in a micro level, like in your relationship, like allowing the other partner to handle the cooking, allowing your employees to handle tasks rather than you doing it all, finding ways to delegate so you can focus on your more broader calling, spending time alone, dulling the chatter. And I feel like those are interconnected because when you delegate, you create more room. When you tell Cheryl she needs to do this and Bob he needs to do this, you create more space within your mind to contemplate, to sit in silence, to meditate, to find peace truly is your assignment in this lifetime. Because with North Node in the 12th house, you're meant to dive into solitude, to find some sort of peace within you, to find some sort of spirituality to connect to. You could also really enjoy any sort of, lucid dreaming or dreaming in general, finding signs, finding symbols. You could dive into intuition, automatic writing, tarot reading. This would be all of those things, ancestral connections, connection to the beyond, mediumship. This is all represented by 12th house. And it's not things that make sense. And it's going to be a hard one because with the South Node and 6th house, you're used to things that make sense. And wherever your North Node is, it's not where you're inherently comfortable. So it might be like, what does this all mean? I have no idea. I don't have any of these gifts. Your journey is about exploring it and diving more into it and finding ways that you can kind of give to the collective to a bigger, broader level. Subconscious processing could also be an avenue for you to explore. Like I said, it's almost like you would keep your schedule busy and keep yourself busy so there wouldn't be any time for any thoughts to bubble up. It was like just being so surrounded by things that you can avoid, things that you don't want to avoid. You can avoid trauma that way. You can avoid scripts that you tell yourself in your head, like you're not good enough, by filling it with data and minutia. So it's almost like dulling the noise of the surrounding world so you can really dive into that subconscious mind of yours and do the work. And it's not easy. Like if you look at a wheel, a natal chart wheel, ascendant, that's the first house, right? Ascendant, that is how the world sees us and how we see the world, right? So I always think of the wheel as the ascendant looking out at the first house, and the 12th house is right behind it. So the 12th house, it's what we can't see, but what impacts and almost governs our mindset. It's like all of the skeletons in our closet or all the stuff that's not easy to deal with. But 12th house and first house are right there. And first house is how you see the world and how the world sees you. So your 12th house stuff can infiltrate how you see the world. And with a North Node 12th house, you're meant to dive into that stuff. And when I say stuff, it's like stuff that you've repressed, stuff that might have been, you know, traumatic scripts that might have been told to you so often when you were a child that it almost like plays like it's an anthem in your head. It's doing that deeper work and clearing up more of your day-to-day schedule so you're able to do that deeper work, to find a compassionate calling, something that's bigger than yourself that you want to dedicate yourself to. So maybe it's after you do the work with your subconscious mind, empowering other individuals in rewiring, you know, their subconscious thought processes or kind of how their mind is structuring. Like I said, this governs solitude, so spending mindful time on your own, perhaps signing up for a meditation retreat or some sort of spirituality retreat. As much as, you know, your South Node 6th house voice will be like, this is a waste of time, you need to get back to work, you need to be productive. Sit with yourself, notice what comes up, because that drive for busyness might be to distract yourself from this deeper work and this deeper calling that you're meant to go on. And it's only gonna immerse when you're in that uncomfortable feeling of silence and solitude. Your work here is to find a compassionate calling, to find a spiritual belief, to find the deeper layers of your subconscious mind, to help and to serve other individuals based on this work. And to do that, it takes clearing your schedule, clearing your mind, knowing that you're worth this deep work. Friends, I would love to know what you thought of this video, what you think of this placement. You're definitely a deep soul diver and here to do some deep work. And this is just conjecture, but I feel like this video is going to have the least amount of views because, you know, a South Node 6th house individual is one who would rather, you know, go by the book, facts, not fiction, you know, not wanting to dive into the spiritual stuff. So I'm curious to see how it works out. But so if you're here and you have this placement, comment below. Let me know you made it to the end. Like if anything that I said resonated. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.